Hey guys, I'm back. This is part 4 of the i9-2080Ti custom build we're doing here at computer headquarters. If you didn't catch the first 3 videos, part 1 was the the overall build plan and the components that we were selecting. Part 2, we talked about the exact video card we're going to be using and all the different options that were on the market and why we ended up going with what we did end up going with. And then also we decided to upgrade our memory, and we talked about the memory upgrade. And then the last video we just did, we talked about the Cougar Conquer case. We unboxed it, partially assembled it, and also we set up our new Rode microphone. I was going to try to stretch it. And the audio on the last video was still not very good with the Rode because it was set up incorrectly, and I've been tweaking with it, and it should be amazing now. You guys should be able to hear me like loud and clear perfectly. So I'm glad I'm trying to get audio video all dialed in, and I've been recording some of the stuff on my camera phone. Maybe I'll get a better camera for that eventually here too. So you guys are enjoying the progress here with this build, and let's start jumping into some new stuff today. So this new stuff is going to be showing you and unboxing the i9-9900k processor and the Asus Maximus 11 Formula motherboard, and additionally I'm going to unbox the 2080 Ti video card because now that we know which card it is and it's in stock here, might as well unbox it and show it to you guys. So here we go, let's jump in. Alright guys, we're back on my camera phone doing some more recording with unboxing, and today we have we have 3 items here that we're going to unbox. We have the brand new i9-9900k processor and this crazy, I don't know, was 10-sided thingamabobber. I don't know how many sides it is. We have a factory refurbished Asus RTX 2080Ti 11GB turbo card. And then we also have something that I've already opened and shown you in a previous video, but this is the Asus Maximus 11 Formula motherboard. So let's actually start with the motherboard since we've already opened that box. We sell a lot of factory refurbished motherboards. Probably any Asus motherboard you can think of, we probably either have it or have it coming sometime soon. Feel free to email, message, call our phone lines, if you're interested in an exact motherboard to check if it's in stock. But this is, again, the Maximus 11 Formula. This is a very new board. It's a Z390 board. It is the most high-end Z390 board that Asus sells. The only board I can think of that's a Z390 that's more quote-unquote high-end or fancy than this board would be the Gigabyte Waterforce board, which is like $900. So I did think about that board, but there were a lot of people having problems with it, and I figured for $900 I don't want to have to deal with Gigabyte's RMA service because so again, this is straight from the factory. We just had a new shipment come in last week, and I asked the guys to put this aside. Obviously it would come in an anti-static bag, but I already opened the bag. But one thing I want to mention is, see how there's a B right there in the corner? Asus has 2 classes of refurbished products. They have A and B. A means that it comes with the I/O shield and usually SATA cables at minimum, and B means that it does not come with the I/O shield and does not come with anything. It's just a motherboard. There's nothing else. Just expect a motherboard, and that is it. I don't know how to explain that any other way, but we constantly every single day have customers either getting upset that a Class B is missing parts, or that they should have gotten some parts that weren't included, or emailing us and messaging us about what parts are missing when we just say if it's not the motherboard, then it's not included. So I hope that doesn't sound rude, but that's just how this works. So this is a Class B board, and this has the built-in EK brand water block on the VRM. Really nice, pretty cool board. It's a very chunky, square-looking board. It looks scratched right now, but that's just the plastic. If you see right there, I can peel that off. But anyway, you get the idea. So this is a really cool board. It has a 4-pin and an 8-pin for power. I mean, other than the 24-pin, obviously every board has that. But Lots of features, some RGB. The number one complaint I've read is that people say the RGB lights are not bright enough, and I'm fine with that. But I did mock this up in the Cougar Conquer case that's right here, and it does look pretty cool. But let's move on. Let's unbox the CPU. So, as I mentioned, the 8-sided, 10-sided Intel i9-9900k. And I'm struggling with one hand here. Here's the bottom of the box saying 9900K, and you can see that it's brand new. I think we ordered it on Amazon. And now I just need to try to cut while holding the camera. And this is not going well. Okay, so this is open up now. And this has been such a struggle to do this with one hand. I really need someone to hold the camera, but here we go. This came apart into 2 pieces. It's like a secret way to open it. And then here's the processor that can focus. There we go. So yeah, we will pop this into the motherboard and we'll test that in just a minute. But next, we'll open this video card here. So this is another factory refurbished part. If you watched the last video, I said I was going to use this. I was shopping for really expensive RTX 2080 Ti video cards that were custom water cooled, and they're all really expensive, and they didn't look very good. And I ended up finding an EK water block for 150 bucks on Amazon that will be here on Wednesday. So we're just going to custom water cool this card that I already have in stock and save a lot of money by going refurb. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like when you order a refurb graphics card. So this is just a standard, Asus refurb package. This is how Asus packages it. This is how all our cards come. So we're just gonna cut the tape here on the top and open the box. If I could do it with one hand, remove some foam. You can see this one. I did not open this already. This is just from the factory, already sealed and everything. So I will open this up as best I can, again with one hand, and I'm struggling today. So here is an Asus 2080 Ti. This is a turbo card, meaning it's a blower style card. This is the new turbo style. We've sold a lot of the 1080 8 gig turbos, and they didn't used to have this like little triangle chunk thing on the side. But this is a pretty beefy turbo card. It actually has 2 8-pins. So yes, it is capable of providing a lot of power. I think this is going to be a great card for us to put the water cooling onto. And as I mentioned, the biggest part is we're going to save a lot of money. So it's going to look cool with that water block, and we'll save a bunch of money. It should be fun. Okay, so next thing is we're going to test that processor and that motherboard to make sure everything's good before we install everything into the Cougar Conquer case. All right, it's test bench time. This is a Cooler Master test bench. I think it's like the 2.0 or something. It's a really weird one. Cooler Master sold us like 30 of them, I think it was around a year ago, and apparently we're like the only people in the United States that ever got these because you can't find them anywhere else, and we sold out of them. I wish I wouldn't have sold them all because they're awesome. They have risers. They have plastic risers that perfectly snap in and out so that you don't have to use screws, but it still maintains like a really good distance. Even if I could just find these plastic risers, maybe I can, but I would love to buy some more of these. But most of the other test benches we've bought from like Amazon, they're all really flimsy and they fall apart. And this is metal. This is really nice. So anyway, I have videos about this. If you look at my other videos where I'm using it to test other stuff. But we have an i9 here that wants to go into a socket. And I did check the socket. The socket looks good. The processor looks good. We're going to move forward. In one of my videos, actually it was my last video where I went shopping for memory. I mentioned that we have a Viper stick out here, or here at our office or warehouse, and it's like our go-to whenever a board doesn't turn on. So I grabbed that just to make sure this goes as smooth as possible. And I'm going to go ahead and, with one hand, install the CPU. Very good. And I don't know if you guys know this, but you don't have to actually take the socket cover off. It will pop off by itself. Watch this. Pop. See that? That's a little insider tip there, guys. And then next, we're gonna put a cooler on here. So this is just like a Cooler Master 212 Turbo or Evo or whatever it's called. And there's like a little bit of thermal paste on it, which doesn't, this is just for testing. So this isn't a big deal. We're not overclocking. We're just making sure that the stuff boots up. Don't even really need to plug the fan in, to be honest with you. You can just throw a heatsink on top of the processor just to make sure it doesn't overheat when you're testing. We got an HDMI connected here. I did double check the 9900K does have Intel graphics built in, so I can use the motherboard graphics. And I think we're good to go. Oh, I need a power cable. All right, we've got the power cable plugged in, and I have the amazing option of pressing that cool green button there, or pressing the start button down here. I'm gonna press the cool green button. Oh, we got some fan rub here. Okay. All right, so we've got video here. I just realized I had the wrong HDMI cable connected to the motherboard, so this is good. Everything is working. This is what we want to see. At this point, for me, everyone's different. I am very satisfied with this to move forward to say that this board and this CPU are good. I just want to show you guys this while it's still on the test bench, how cool this is. The OLED display on the actual motherboard, and I have a display on my I have a Maximus 10 formula at home, and this is just so much clearer. The resolution of this little screen is really good. It's probably hard to tell on the camera, but it's so crystal clear. It almost looks like a cell phone screen. The RGB LEDs on the board are kind of like what I was thinking might happen. They're not very bright, as you can see. So it's not a big deal. I wasn't expecting them to be bright, but I am extremely impressed with how good this screen is. So this is pretty cool. Anyway, let's get this thing installed into the Cougar Conquer case. All right, guys, we've got the motherboard mounted. I even put the video card in to mock it up so you can see what it looks like. But this is screwed down all the way, ready to go for the next steps. I want to mention a couple little things for everyone that's building computers. These are little tips that you may not know. First of all, when you are securing risers to a case, if you don't know what a riser is, I'm trying to get a good... Wow, it's really hard to focus on this. Let me try again. There we go. That's a riser with a screw in it, right? When you secure your riser down to your case, you want to get it really tight. You don't want to tighten it so much that you then strip out the hole, because then you have a way bigger problem, but you want it to be really, really tight, because if you don't get it really tight into the case, when you go to, let's say, take the motherboard out to upgrade later or something of that nature, sometimes when you unscrew the screw part, see if I can, when you go to unscrew that from the board, the whole thing spins. This whole thing spins, and it's just a pain in the butt. And that means that you have to unscrew all the others, and then you have to remove this from the back of the motherboard after the fact. And you don't really want to do that. So doing it the right way the first time is the best way. So you want to tighten the bronze part down really tight without breaking the threads. And then when you tighten down the black screw, you want to get it tight, but as soon as you feel it start to get tight, you stop, because you don't want to over tighten that part. There's no need to. This is just there for grounding. You don't want there to be a gap. That's another thing too. If there's a gap between the board where the board touches like the bronze part of the riser and the top of the screw, then you have a problem. You will probably have a grounding problem. You don't want that either. You need to start over again and get new risers, because maybe the threading inside of the riser is bad, or maybe the threading on the screw is bad. But you need it to be tight, but just barely tight. The bottom, the riser, you want it really tight for sure. But the screw, just, maybe I should be saying snug. You just, as soon as you start to feel the resistance where it's touching, you can stop. That's all you need, is the touching. So for anyone that needed those tips, you're welcome. This is the end of this video. Like and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next videos where we'll start getting some radiators mounted and things of that nature. Thanks.